Hello and welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the magic power you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. The bumps are not in the way, they are the way. And we'll see that clearly in the first dream that I have a look at today. But to get in on the action and send your dream to the show, go to dream-analysis.com, fill in the form there, and that will send your dream over to me, and then hopefully it'll appear on one of the shows. And if it doesn't appear on the next show, it doesn't mean it won't. Sometimes I have a lot of dreams in the hopper. I don't necessarily get to each one every week, but they're on my show list, and eventually I will. And while I haven't been great about letting people know, hey, your dream was done on this show, I have all the records, and someday soon I'm going to be sending out lots of emails saying your dream was done on this show. So expect that soon. Anyway, why expect it soon? Well, expect it soon because I'm improving the automation of that process. That's why. So our first dream today comes from Teresa, and I've got a few short dreams at the start. And she says, the dream I was curious about was a very vivid dream about moving out of a home and giving away all my possessions. There was very little emotional attachment to anything. I only wanted to give the special things to my children. There was little interest by them, however, in receiving my things, no matter how nice they were. And that's the dream. Now she says, I was able to find a reference to moving in your dream, and that's, in my dream dictionary. So Teresa's on my list. If you get on my email list, you get my dream dictionary as in the first email. But she says, I could find a reference to moving, and moving is good. It's saying, hey, let's put it this way. Staying stationary in a dream is not good. So moving is about moving forward or growing. So here moving is good. So the dream is good. It's good. But it's always going to show us something that you need to do in order to move forward. And she says, when I put it together, it makes sense to me. I asked her, well, what did you get? Because I'm always curious. And here's what she got. She said, what I got is that possessions have no real value. I had no attachment or interest, and neither did my children. I felt like the message was that my relationships and my time spent with my children was much more valuable. Well, that's true. It's a good takeaway, but the dream is a little bit deeper than that. I would turn it around a little, and the dream asks you not to hold onto things that you think you need to do because you think it is in your children's best interest. Only hold on to things or only do things that are for you. Ignore everything else. Ignore everyone else. And this is a really important lesson for anybody. Life and spirituality is always about finding out who you are and being who you are, more to the point, being who you are. Most of us hold back, and we hold back because we are influenced as kids ourselves by our parents, and we believe we need to act a certain way in order for people to like us, or for whatever it is, for food to end up on the table, or what, so there could be real reasons why we do particular things because we have to survive. But when we get to adulthood, we tend to hold on to the things that we needed to use us in childhood to survive, but we no longer need them. Now, almost every dream brings you back to childhood in some way and says, hey, here's something you're still holding on to. But this dream is really about, it's giving you permission to move on and not even hold on to doing anything that you think is in your children's best interest. And that's why the dream emphasizes that they weren't even interested in the things that you thought would be special. So it's a wasted effort from your part. It's not about the relationship and all that. That's great. Obviously, foster a good relationship with your kids and help your kids in the best way you can. But the best way you can help your kids is by you being you and not changing yourself. Key being, don't change yourself in any way for anyone else. And that includes your children. And there's a million reasons why spiritually that's the right thing to do. But I like the dream. You can only have this type of dream when you're at a turning point. So it means you've worked on yourself. You're at a very good point. And this is something that is probably like the last little difficult thing for you to do, but you'll definitely be able to do it. So let's move on. I hope that was good for you, Teresa. We have one from Tara. Sometimes I change the names to protect the guilty, of course. And she says, a young man that I know put a beret at the end of my braid. I had a black one in my hair, and the one that added by the young man was gold with a gold ribbon. Um, so this is often it's a very common color combination I see in dreams, black and gold, and it usually appears in dreams of people who are like trying to work in the spiritual field or trying to do something, but they have fears around it. I'm not saying that's the case in your case, but the gold is a healing color. The black beret that you already had in your hair. Well, first of all, your hair is braided, so that says that your thoughts, because hair is about thoughts, hair comes from the head, like thoughts comes from the head, and so the dream is about your thoughts and about your thoughts being restricted due to fear. Now we know they're restricted because of the braid. A braid is hair tied up in a particular pattern. So it's like that's the restriction. Even though braids look lovely, it still is what it means in a dream. And you can even look at that. Yeah, but the braid is lovely. It's like that would say I'm very happy and comfortable with my restrictions. I like the way I think. Thank you very much. But but it's still showing it's a restriction, and it's a restriction out of fear because you had a black beret there. And black is about fear, nothing to do with black is the absence of light in a dream. So the meaning of colors in dreams comes from the meaning of colors in your aura, nothing to do with skin color or anything like that. So the black is about fear. So your thoughts are restricted due to fear. And this guy, who is obviously a very positive influence in your life, and I say that because he gives you a gold one, and only a positive character in a dream would do that. Gold is about healing those fears. So he's adding that. So this is saying, okay, look, if you wear this for a little while, then that's going to improve your situation, and pretty soon you're going to find that your thinking is freer and you're not as limited or restricted. Now it's not, I'm not knocking you. It's not about you having limited thinking. It's about your thinking being restricted due to some influence. Like I said in the last analysis, we're always influenced as kids. We have no ability to rationalize as kids, and so the influence sticks. And so there's some influence that this guy is attempting to heal for you so that your thoughts are freer. And it means they can be. So your potential is really positive. And Tara asked a question as well. She said, I would like to understand how dreams apply to myself and if it pertains to the person I dream about. Well, it's always about you. So we pick people in our dreams, we pick and pull them into our dreams because of what they mean to us. And you said that the person is a godfather to your three boys and is a man of high integrity. So that's what he symbolizes for you. But that you can't dream about him. You can't pull him into your dream if you don't have that potential for high integrity. And maybe you already do have it. It's too short of a dream to say. But absolutely, it's something you value, and we even know you value it from the comments. But we know you value it at a core because he's in the dream doing something positive. And he's making you think, like even in the dream. So the whole thing is, the idea is that he makes you change how you think, heals how you think, removes the restrictions on your thinking. And you're really puzzled about why would he do that? Why would he add that when I already had this other beret? And you said, what is needed to respond accordingly to the dream? Well, think about it. In what way is your thinking restricted or limited? And sometimes it's very obvious. So you can think, because we have a male show up in the dream, think about dad and say, okay, what am I doing to try please dad? And so there might be something I want to do. Maybe I want to move away and I want to get a job in this particular place, but I'm not going to do it because I know dad would be sad, and so on and so on. And so if that's the case, and I just made something up there, but if it was something like that and you had this dream, then the dream is saying, it's not necessarily saying don't move away, but it's saying don't limit yourself because of somebody else's influence. So think about what you want to do, think about it fully, decide what you want to do, and then make that fit in, with where you're not hurting anybody else as well. But we quite often cut things off because we're afraid of how it's going to affect other people in our lives. And that's a bit kind of nutty. But we all do it. So thanks for that, Dream Tara. And then one from Sarah Lee. She says, I dreamed about buying 2 cosmetic purses with eyelashes on them. One was pink and the other was tan. I chose the tan one. So we can say straight away from the colors. I love when that we have colors in a dream because you can't change the meaning of a color. We can have a personal association with anything else in a dream, but not with a color. Pink always means that you have a poor bond with your mom. You have issues with your mom that you need to work through. Now, these would be issues from childhood. So you might say, well, I get on great with my mom now, but it's not about now. And depending on your age, if you're still young, and I think you are, but I didn't copy that over, um, the, um, it's going to be obvious to you what this is, regardless. Um, so you had a choice, and a cosmetic bag is about, carries your makeup, and so makeup is about how you prepare yourself or do your face up. All the women listening to the show are laughing at me trying to figure this out. But makeup is about how you present yourself going forward in life. And often in a dream, it's about putting on a face that everything's okay when it's not. And so it's a very short dream, so we don't know. We don't know what you're going to do with the makeup. But you do say that there was eyelashes on it. So the dream then says because of the eyelashes, it's connected to your outlook, and also you have a clairvoyant ability. You get images from your guides. Not really what this dream is about, but well, it kind of is. There's many layers to every dream. So it's saying if you work on the issues with mom, then it'll improve your clairvoyant ability. You'll be able to trust it more, get better information or better quality information that you can trust. But going back to the point of the dream, the pink says that we have that issue, and you picked tan, and tan is a mix of cream and brown. Cream is about acceptance and tolerating yourself. So it would be saying, yeah, you want to put on this outward appearance that everything's good, but it's important for you, even when doing this, to be accepting of yourself and say, well, this is how I am, this is how I feel, and this is what I'm facing or how I'm facing things. So it's a good color, and the brown part of it says this is a practical thing to do. To be accepting of how things are, including how you feel and so on, but how mom is too, and not try to change that. Just say that's how she is, and it's not a let her off the hook, but it's like don't try change it, or don't look for the best, or just see it as it is. Going back to the eyelashes, it's about having your eyes open, really. Okay, I feel like I probably didn't give the best explanation on that one, but certainly hope that makes sense. And then we have one from Fo, and this one takes a kind of a little bit of a different direction. She said, oh no, this is a different one. Sorry, I was thinking of the next one. This one is another short one from Fo. She says, I dreamt about my ex who was my fiance. In the dream, he came in through the gate and just stood at the door without knocking until I opened the door. He looked like he was about to leave when I opened the door. The puzzling part is that he was carrying a pumpkin on his head. So I wrote to Fo, but I didn't get a reply before the show. And what stands out here is, I mean, the obvious question, and the one I asked her was, why did you not marry this guy? What was the motivation, or what was the thing that made you hold back? But I didn't get a reply, so I'm just going to say what the dream says, and it'd be interesting, Fo, if you write in and let us know. So he waited for you, and he would have left had you not acted. And so the question I would ask is, was lack of motivation a factor in you leaving him? Like him not being ambitious enough. And I say ambitious because of the color orange on a pumpkin, and orange is the color for ambition. And also, we can tell that you loved him because pumpkin is a term of endearment. People call their kids pumpkin, or their loved ones pumpkin, and so on. So it's a very short dream, but why would you have it? And of course, it depends on how long ago this was. So if you're looking at getting into a new relationship and then you're dreaming about this, or you're already in a relationship, the dream would be saying, let go of the old one. Don't let the influences of past relationships, especially the negative aspects, in fact, only the negative aspects, don't let them influence you in your current relationships, because that doesn't do you any good whatsoever. So waiting for somebody to be motivated, or waiting for somebody to knock at the door, although you don't in the dream, don't wait for somebody else to make opportunities. Create them yourself like you do in the dream. But again, I don't think it's about that. I don't think you have a problem there. It's just saying um, the other relationship isn't over in terms of its impact on you. So you got to realize that that you're still carrying that into current relationships. And the next one is from, I've got two names, so now I wonder if I've mixed things up. This one is from Jessie. And Jesse says, what does it mean? And this is the one that really takes a turn. What does it mean when foreign victors try to kill you and others by throwing them off a cliff into the ocean? I can feel the sensations of those thrown off the cliff and decide I'm not having any part of that. I grab another girl, also standing in line, and we run and hide as our captors are attempting to find us. Never had a dream about feeling death or someone trying to kill me. The dream left me very disturbed. And now I see why I've got two different emails. I've mixed two dreams together, but I know where they come apart. So this one's actually from Julie. So this dream is about hiding from life out of fear of persecution. That's what it's about, because the ocean is about life. It's also about spirituality, but let's just say it's about life. And you grab another woman, a girl standing in line, and you run and hide. So it's the hiding is about you hiding from life, with the ocean being about life. But it's because you've been persecuted in the past. Could be a foreign, sorry, it could be a past life. There could definitely be an influence of that there, clearly from this type of dream. But whatever it is, your life this time around is about coming out and not hiding and overcoming your fears and participating in life despite your fears. So, yeah, not a great dream because it shows that you have been subjected to something quite difficult. And then in the face of that, it's like, okay, how can I get to a point where I don't hold myself back in life? It's a tall ask of anybody, but that's what this dream is asking you to do. And so now we get to the real Jesse dream, which is the one that I keep saying it takes a different turn. Finally at it. I don't normally have this type of dream on the show, but here we go. I was with a spiritual YouTuber and she was helping me to call, and she has call in air quotes, in a man who I haven't had any contact with in a long time or even met in person. So so you've had contact, but you didn't actually meet him. It's hard to tell. It's kind of interesting. I had some type of electronic device, and she was saying incantations as I was pressing the button to open the portal to teleport him in. A few other spirits came through, which made me irritable, but as a side note, this was the first or second dream where I'd seen ghosts and not felt fear. Yay! I tried going up the ladder to the left, which brought me into the kitchen. I tried the device again, but it only brought through another spirit. I went back downstairs and he eventually came through and we hugged, and I felt my heart space being pulled to him like a magnet, and I didn't want to let go. He disappeared shortly after that. I tried getting him back, but only other spirits were coming through. The magnet feeling was so strong that I still felt that energy for about a half an hour after waking. So that's really an interesting and a different type of dream. And you continue on a little bit more, which I'll cover in a second. So you say incantations and you talk about a spiritual YouTuber. So this is about, without me ever having asked you, so feel free to write in. But this is like using, I'm going to say magic tricks and spells to make something happen in your life. And I'm saying that because of the incantations and so on. So you're following this spiritual YouTuber, the process. But what you see happening in the dream is you're attracting spirits, and you say that you get, they made you irritable. You say, I was pressing the button to open the portal to teleport him in. A few other spirits came through, which made me irritable. So this being irritable or angry, what you got to watch is, first of all, make sure you're doing something that won't give you karma or isn't negative in somebody else's life. For instance, you should never try to attract somebody who's married to another person. And I say that because of a comment you said later on. And I don't know what the connection here is, why you're trying to attract this person and so on. What I'm focusing on is the fact that other spirits are coming in. You talk about being irritable. You talk about opening a portal, and again, more and more spirits coming in. If you want to do something in your life, if you're doing things and you're doing a ritual and you're a channel, like you clearly are a channel, Spirits will come to you, negative spirits will come to you, and they will say to you, I can help you with this. And that's their way in to into your good graces, let's say. But they can't really help as much as they let on. And the thing they really feed on is frustration and anger, most of these spirits. So you don't want them around because they're going to want you in that state. Um, and that's not the state that you're aiming for at all. And I say that because you say later on, I'm sorry this has gotten so long, and I definitely don't expect for everything to be taken into consideration. I'm not sure where to go with this information for the future. If you could touch on demonic possession dreams, that'd be great too. I've only had a few of those, but they terrify me to even write out, but didn't see anything about that in your material. And yeah, I don't cover it. Um, Although if you do have an issue with something like that, write to me and I can put you in touch with people who can clear that type of thing and work on that type of thing. It's an area that you can end up in if you're led by somebody who doesn't 100% know what they're doing, and they say, here, try this, and try this. And 99.9% of people never ever need to deal with negative spirits like this whatsoever. And the reason they don't is because you don't attract any negative spirits into your life, so therefore you're never going to have to deal with them. But I do come across it very occasionally. And what you got to be careful of then is when we see the dream that you have, what you're doing in the dream is like performing this incantation. Understand what that incantation does, why it does what it does, and what it attracts. And so you want to be able to make sure you're not attracting what you don't want. So it's when I teach people to channel, I do it by helping them raise their vibration and in a very positive space connect with their guides. And once you make that connection, then you know this is the connection I always want, that connection with my guides. And then I ask my guides to help me with things, because your guides, unlike other spirits, will not interfere with other people's life purpose. So you could say, look, I really want Johnny to love me. And your guides will say, well, that's great, but I'm not going to help you. But if Johnny is meant to be part of your life, they will pull out all the stops to help you get him into your life. So use your guides. Your guides also will do other things. They will ultimately try get it to where your higher self is the one helping you. So basically, they set it up so that you're helping yourself as much as is possible, because that's what the whole point is, empowering you, and they help you to empower yourself. Other spirits, negative spirits, I should say, don't do that. They don't try and empower you. They keep saying, you need me around. And I say that because you're talking about how do I deal with these other ones. Well, what I would do is I would clear them, and then I would not use whatever incantation brought them around in the first place, because it's not a normal thing. It's happening because of something you're doing, and you are open to this, so it is something very likely you are meant to be working in, a space you're meant to be working in. And so let's have a look at another bit of your dream. You say, we were in this place, but it wasn't like a normal room or house. Now, this is the same dream. The floor or walls were almost transparent neon rainbow color, and they had a liveliness to them. The downstairs was just an open room. It had 2 floors, but upstairs was just a hallway with no stairs to get there or doors. It was almost like looking at a shelf. Okay, so the no stairs up to the hallway, that's the part or up to the second floor, that's the part that I find interesting. And that says that's where you need to work. That's what you need to work on building a stairs that allows you move up and activate your spiritual side. Because in the dream, there's a disconnect. And so find out how to do that. Find out what your gifts are. In fact, that's probably the best way to start. Find out what your gifts are. Start working on those gifts. And then use them to help you discover what your life is about, what you're meant to be doing, and what you're meant to be avoiding. Because it's always intriguing when you come across things that say, hey, look, here's how you can make $1 million. You can put a vision board up, you can do this, this, and this. And I'm saying that because it's not what you wrote about. So it's not going to be about you per se. But a lot of people do this. And of course, we're not here to make the $1 million. We're here to learn about ourselves. And money is a consequence, is better to come and easier to come as a consequence of getting in touch with your spiritual gifts and using them. And it's the same with everything else. You getting onto the path, you're saying, okay, I want this guy in my life. But the person that should be in your life or will be in your life after you work on yourself, clear your issues and develop yourself spiritually is going to be far better than the person that you imagine is going to be great for you in your life. So trust that your higher self and your guides have it all in hand and know what your life is about and what it is you're meant to be doing. So I hope that explains it to you, Jesse, and please do write and ask questions. And I hope none of that came across as condescending, because I don't know what level you're at with any of these things that you're doing. And maybe you have a lot of skill and do know what you're doing, and you're just asking, what do I do about these other things? But definitely something, even though I don't cover it on the show, I can put you in touch with people that can help you in those areas. So we have time for one more. This one comes from John. He says, I was called in to be a tourist guide to a guest of a hotel. After my guide assignment was done, I'm shaking hands and saying a goodbye to the guest, a man with glasses. Suddenly another man shows up as his host. I'm shaking hands with both of them and wondering if I would get paid for my job as a guide. I did not get paid. Suddenly a beautiful blonde girl shows up as help and instructor to me. And I want to hug and kiss her to thank her. But I did not get to do that either. In the end of my dream, I'm using a toilet because we were leaving the hotel. Okay, so what is this about? Very quickly, it says, yeah, you know, if your question is, am I a guide? The answer is no, because you're not going to get paid for the job. But you're being asked to help somebody. It could even be somebody close to you. But don't look at it as what's in it for me. So you might have a financial issue right now, but you know you're looking to get paid, and that's why I say that. But don't look at the things and say what's in it for me. Realize it's a kind of a pay it forward situation, that this person has guides, and that's why he already has a host, and they're already employed. They're getting the money. But you also have guides. You say, suddenly a beautiful blonde girl shows up as help to me. So she's your guide. Blonde is often the color that guides have for their hair in a dream. And she's an instructor to you, a teacher, etc. So that's what guides are. And so it's about, like, realize your guides help you. Other people's guides help them. And sometimes you're called on to help with those situations, but realize it's all a system of help, and you are meant to work with people, but it's not a financial remuneration you're going to get. You're going to get paid back in other ways. And the toilet at the end of the dream, it says you need to eliminate issues right from the start of your life, because it's the hotel is involved. So you got to eliminate issues that around this feeling of where's the financial side in the equation, because that holds you back. So that's my show for this week. I will talk about my upcoming course next week. At least I hope I will be in a better position to do that. And until next week, I'm Michael Sheridan.